This is the tricky thing, is that solving any particular dopamine addiction for me is quite easy. And you just do that. You delete the app, you do this. Addressing the dopamine cycle as a whole is incredibly hard.
Yeah, but you can scale it back. I mean, TikTok versus Instagram versus a nature documentary. They're all visual stimulus,
Yes.
but there's a level.
Yes.
There's levels to this game.
Well, of course. And what I'm finding is I'll fill it with anything. I told you, I'll go to the email again. I'll do work email. You know what I mean? I'll get consumed with work all the time.
As your business partner, I'm okay with this.
I started getting new credit cards.
Less okay with this.
I was just researching. I need this. You know, I all of a sudden need these 50,000 points, which is a terrible use of time. And it's going to be tricky. But it's also incredible how much time there is in a day. When you do not feed these cycles, you find yourself sitting there praying for tiredness. You're just like,
now you go to the bathroom in 2 minutes instead of sitting down to take a
Please.
poop, and 20 minutes later going, oh my God, what did I just do on my phone?
Yeah, I wait for night and I'm like, can I please be tired so I can get to tomorrow, because it's so hard. But I do believe that these cycles will end hopefully within that 2-week span. I think is around the dopamine reset phase, people say.
Does this mean no video games? Because that's a pretty big dopamine hit.
No, I think I am going to allow it. And I recognize that will probably be a huge fallback on this dopamine cycle. And maybe one day I'll go full Vipassana monk, 10 days, silence, nothing. But
what if it was like the orgasm thing? You're allowed to play, but you're not allowed to win.
You're not allowed to get that loop.
You have to lose. I bet you'd stop playing.
I'm going to assess each game that I play and see what kind of role it plays in my life with regards to addiction. Right now, there's none that I'm hyper addicted to that's been different in the past than I've mentioned on the podcast. But the ones that I play right now, like Super Smash Bros., I'll play for a half an hour with my brother online and then stop quite comfortably.
What are the good things in your life that are not dopamine addiction?
There's so many, but I never do any of them. This is the problem.
What are they? Yeah.
The best things, I wrote them all down. The best things don't call to me. I don't ever want to do them. So let's see. These are just some of the ones that I'd written. Exercise. I'm allowed to do that. Reading. I put an asterisk on this one. Video games.
Questionable.
Walks in the sun, playing guitar, singing, piano, escape rooms, foam rolling, stretching, free writing, sleeping, breath work, friends, calling. And I don't want this one to become my new dopamine thing. Oh, I'm bored, I'll call a friend. But calling old friends is another thing that I'm allowed to do. So we shall see. It's going to be an interesting little thing, but it's contributing to my hypothesis, which is coming from a number of different books, that one of the big issues is that we've all grown accustomed to having a hyper overstimulated nervous system, such that when we go to Vipassana retreats and come back, it's like, what is this world that I've stepped into? This is insanity, but it's just normal. And every generation, honestly, it's getting worse. I told you, I watched some of this kids' content on YouTube last week. I look at TikTok. Kids don't stand a chance against the gamification of their attention as conducted by these big tech companies. It really makes...
Well, some companies do use it for good, I would say. Like
Sure.
the Peloton bike. Gamifying workouts. I think that's an awesome use of that, because it takes something that's good for you that most people don't want to do, and it mixes in dopamine hits. It makes you want to get on the Peloton and get the high score and do this and that. And you also can't bike forever because your body will just stop. So you can only Peloton for like an hour. So there are companies using these weaknesses of the human psyche to hack you into bettering yourself. They're just...
We hope to do that. That's what we hope to do with our channel is to capture attention, direct it towards something that ultimately
use quick cuts and visuals of cool things from movies to make people's lives better. Yeah. So it's not all bad, I guess. But.
So here's what's becoming increasingly hard, and maybe I'm just an old man now and I don't see that everything's going to be okay. But when I'm on TikTok, I even went to Gary Vee because I knew he'd be there and I knew that he'd be talking about business content. I was like, what's popular from Gary Vee? And they're these mindless videos, man. They're mindless. I believe that Gary Vee has good advice to give. If you watch his hour-long interviews on the Gary Vee show, some of them are quite good. The clips that are most popular are mindless.
Like what? Just work harder, hustle more?
He's sitting on a plane going, what's the Snapchat filter for baby? Get me that baby filter. And every word he says pops up in real time. Get me that baby filter. What's
interesting? So he's actually not even teaching people on TikTok.
I mean,
he's just building an audience.
There's one where he goes, you just got to stick to it. And I think this is the right advice for a lot of 20-year-olds. You got to be patient, man. You got to do this. You got to stick. But it's like He's saying be patient on a platform that has a cut. The conversation is ripped in half 7 times. It's like the medium becomes the message at that point. You can't tell someone to be patient on TikTok. It doesn't work. You need to tell them to be patient at a retreat or something like that. So I wonder, without changing, and I know that Instagram opened up videos and now they're a minute, maybe attention spans on that will open up, or maybe it'll just disappear. I don't know how many positive things you can add to someone's life other than a chuckle in 15 seconds. I really think the answer is few and far between, especially when it's just on top of something else.
Sure.
So I'm anti, I'm negative, I'm a curmudgeonly old man at this point.